Teenage Ninja Mutant Oh, wow. That beer's starting.
The beer's hitting.
Beer's
now.
coming, buddy.
That's
Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtles.
Almost.
I still. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Shredder's Revenge. Third time's a charm.
You made it. You did it.
The adult beverages are poured. The kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old.
So to all the dads out there, happy Father's Day. You did it. This is your day.
This is our day.
You survived. Hopefully, perhaps you got a breakfast in bed, a special coffee, a special beer, perhaps, a special meal, whatever it was. But to you and yours, from the gaming dads here to yourselves, we'll raise a glass. You can't see it in this audio format, but I assure you it's here. So
virtual cheers.
Virtual cheers, new dads. Congratulations. Man, there's this great, school really knocks it out of the park. I do love how school will have the kids build something. Right. And the one thing I got this year was it was a piece of paper, it was all folded up, and at the beginning it's two of his my older son's handprints.
Yep.
And then you open it up, and he's drawn himself on the inside, and then his hands are outreaching.
Yes.
Right. So it's and it's I love you this much. Happy Father's Day. I'm that's that's great. Thank you.
Yeah. It's always the teachers battle for who finds the best Pinterest board. Right? Because they're how do I bring in this craft to my class and let them do it?
So brave, man. I just like to get them all to try to do that. The second one, they had him hold out letters, and he's going to a French school. So, but je t'aime, I love you, and he's holding out J, E, and they had all the photos of him holding these letters. Yeah, it's just wow. You did this for every kid? You have 20. You're crazy. How could you?
Yeah, that is nuts. That's a lot of effort.
God, man, bless teachers. But it was just it's great. I will keep those for a long time. I thought those were very sweet.
It's good. They're not going immediately into a box and underneath the staircase or something.
I'm still kind of waiting for the mug so I could use a different mug every year.
Oh, dude. You missed out on the mugs? I have 6 of them. It's insane.
Send them my way. They're not in the mug territory yet. We're going to get there.
No? Okay.
As
Get ready.
Yeah. Shout out to all you dads on this Father's Day. Hopefully there was a beer, a game, or something else of your to celebrate you and yours. Now, as far as the beers go, there could be a number of great picks. Jeff and myself have continued our summer of beers.
Yay.
I hate myself.
That's a good start. Yep.
So I showed Jeff this beer is 9.5%. And it's take the size of your head, and that's the size of this can.
Yeah.
And it's why is this can this big? And why is the alcohol content jacked up so high? Why? Why would you do this? And I was looking in the international section because I'm trying to find things that hopefully the listeners from different regions might be able to actually find.
Yeah.
And so the one I decided on is from Great Divide, which seems to come out of Denver, Colorado.
Okay.
And this one is the Mexican Chocolate Yeti Imperial Stout, flavored extra strong beer.
Wolf.
It is.
Sure is.
It's the size of a Yeti. It is the strength of a Yeti.
You're gonna be wandering through the woods later on after drinking this beer. You're just yoked.
If all holds true, you're gonna be finishing this podcast by yourself.
Yeah.
I'll be screaming from the couch behind me and just remember, because you became a dad.
And another thing.
So, yeah. Anyways, all of this, the can really caught my attention. I wanted to get something from the States, and lo and behold, Denver, Colorado. I immediately would assume would have fantastic beer, and I was right. This is delicious, which thank goodness, because they would almost be forgiven for terrible beer. Something this large, this much quantity of it, and then the alcohol content it's almost works every time kind of scenario.
Yeah.
As opposed to, Colt 45 territory as opposed to this. But no, they did a great work. So again, that is from Great Minds Drink Alike, GDBC in Denver, Colorado, the Mexican Chocolate Yeti Imperial Stout. Delicious. fantastic. Big and thick like a Guinness. The chocolate isn't overpowering. Like, it's an excellent beer. So I'm going to be enjoying it for quite a while, given the quantity.
Yeah, I guess so.
And that's a good thing because it is quite tasty. So, Jeff, what were you dipping into tonight?
Well, mine is probably just half as strong as yours. It's the Tona Cerveza out of Nicaragua. So I went international as well. This is hailed as Central America's best-selling beer. So how could I not pick this one up? It's a lager, 4.6. So again, lager kind of area. I could probably match it 2-1 here, and we'll be on the same boat. But yeah, it's an interesting one. Just it kind of feels like no different than a regular lager here. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a compliment. But it's tasty. It's light, refreshing when it's really cold. And we'll see how this kind of matches up with the summer. I think I would get this again, just as a nice beer to have on the kind of as a backup.
Yeah, it's kind of that'd be especially so. It sounds like it's kind of shoots down the middle, so basic and straightforward. But it's kind of almost a more interesting pick. So if you have a party and you have a few people over, you could kind of get this one to say, if you want to try something kind of different, that's not gonna, you're not gonna have to challenge yourself too much. Like this could be a pretty decent one.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to get down. So yeah, I would recommend it.
Definitely. Central America's finest. Very good.
That's right. Let's go.
Yeah. So as always, we are looking for other beer pick and recommendations. So if any gaming dads listening has a recommendation, we'd love to hear what you're sipping on or what we should try. Reach out to us on Twitter at New Dad Gaming or our website newdadgaming.com. So the New Dads this week dipped into what I think is probably about the most anticipated release at the moment for anyone over 30 years old, which was Teenage Ninja Mutant Oh, wow. That beer's starting.
The beer's hitting.
Beer's coming, buddy.
That's
Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtles.
Almost.
I still... Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Shredder's Revenge.
You made it. You did it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Thanks, Yeti.
Yes.
Shredder's Revenge actually came out I was like super stoked about this because it was on Game Pass day one.
Yeah, you don't have to lift a finger. It's just there for you.
Oh, it was so easy. Not a dime spent, not a finger lifted. It was fantastic. And now you had a bit of a challenge as far as where you were going to pick it up because you do have a few options.
Yeah, so I was kind of debating on whether or not this would be a Nintendo Switch title or a PlayStation title. And my first reaction is like, I don't really want the kids playing with the PS5. PS4 is okay, but they usually tend to go to the PS5. Not liking that. And the price was a little bit more on the PlayStation Network. So I'm like, oh, okay. Nintendo Switch it is, right? Like Joy-Cons are all there. We have quite a bit. It'd be a great party game. But all my Joy-Cons are drifting. So
oh my god.
It was one of those things like every single one, maybe except one left-hand one. But 3 out of the 4 is all drifting, and I've tried like every YouTube solution in the book. It's just one of those things where I'm gonna have to send it to Nintendo. It's covered, it's free, but it's just more of an inconvenience. Yeah. And so I have to make that decision. And if you've ever gone through that process, a lot of my Joy-Cons have already been there once. So this will be their second round go because I found the receipt. I'm like, oh, look, 2019 I sent this one in. Oh, and 2020 I sent this one in. So they last a couple years and then they start drifting again. So just FYI over there.
Awful.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, keep it posted. That's unbelievable. Like just to have such shoddy quality on the product. Well known to the point of being almost a meme or a joke at this point. Yeah. And it's just like, yeah, that's just how it goes. That's just what's going to happen. You're going to need to send it in because these things are garbage.
Yeah, it's like they've done the math and like, it's cheaper if we just fix everyone that is sent in to us and not bother. So that's what I'm doing. And I did decide eventually to go with the Switch. I kept 3 of the Joy-Cons back. I'm just sending them 1 Joy-Con at a time, just in case something's lost or something. Mm-hmm. So we got it on the Switch.
So that is an interesting choice. Like I do like. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think on the Switch, it's 6. You can have up to 6 players local couch co-op.
Yeah, Coach Co-op 6 players. So I was playing with my kids, and it's chaos at 3. I don't know what
Oh, it's
6 is gonna
wild.
be.
I can't believe having 6 people because I found it hard to find my character in a lot of cases in the
Yes.
game.
Yeah.
Like it's
Well,
really difficult to find me. Like there's so much action going on. There's so many characters and bad guys on screen, particle effects, everything. It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah. And it's not like a necessarily a bad thing. It's just like those nostalgic arcade kind of feelings, right? Where you're like, I have no idea what's going on. My player's in there somewhere, but I don't have to feed this thing quarters. So it's fine. We'll make do with it.
Yeah, I like that they had a chill mode. So you start it up, it's chill mode or up to greater difficulty. You can pull in people online, and they seem to like
Yep.
prompt you to do so like often. Like at any point, you can just like grab some of the people online, which is really great. I think the thing about it, the thing that I was really comparing it to was the recent not King of Fighters, the Streets of Rage. Yeah, Streets of Rage 4 that was out,
Okay. Yep.
which was a modernization of the format. You know, like
Yes.
it
Yeah.
was had a lot of the same kind of feel to it, but it really was kind of its own different game. This is like an out and out homage and like an attempt to capture exactly that feeling when you were playing the old Super Nintendo games. And
Absolutely.
the care and concern about it, like the thing that I love about it, and I'd be curious to see if you notice the same thing, is but the attention to detail on the moment to moment impact and situational awareness that you can have. So there'll be a manhole cover and you can drop the guy down into it. He throws it at you. You can knock it back. You bang him into electricity and he goes flying. You grab him. You throw him at the screen, which is one of the great. Like that was
It's
one of
the
the
best
greatest
thing
things.
ever. I love doing that.
So but every single place where it's like you can kind of you hit the fire hydrant, the little cap flies off and hits them. Like it's like they spent time on every single moment of this game, like every screen, and nothing is throwaway. It's not like,
Yep.
all right, here's the basic mechanics. We need to change the paint on this level, but otherwise, we're kind of done. Like they seem to like lovingly craft every world of it, and especially when you're going through with fresh eyes, as I was with my 2 sons. I don't know if yours experienced the same, but it's kind of like wow for them. Like whoa, this is great. Oh my goodness, I hit them, and now we're in the sky, and I got pizza, and like oh I threw them through that vent. This is crazy.
Yeah, mine were similar on that. Just they love the pixel art in these games. I have a friend that actually his 13-year-old is like, these graphics suck. So there's a wide spectrum.
Sacrilege.
But my kids are used to this kind of art style and they enjoy it. They love it. I love the callbacks. So they are
Yeah.
showing a lot of Easter eggs from just like levels, obviously characters and bosses, villains, all that stuff is in here. But even just the design of it is so it just brings back all those memories of just being in the arcade with your friends and trying to, another go. But my kids, the only critique that they had was that they wanted to level up their weapons, kind of
Oh.
like Diablo. Like they wanted better
Yeah.
equipment and they wanted better skills and stuff, which you do
Okay.
kind of get as you go up, but not weapons, obviously. Like Leonardo is not going to get an axe there. Well, 11-year-old, like that's not going to happen.
Or a new spike shell or something like that.
Yeah. But I did like all the friendly stuff. Like you can like high five in the middle to give each other like a couple hit points. Like if somebody's low, you can high five them and give some yours. You can like resurrect them if they're knocked out. We did have trouble with the pizza. You mentioned that because if it's a single pizza, you have to choose.
Who's gonna get it?
And my 9-year-old just runs for it no matter what. Like it doesn't
Oh,
even need it.
no.
Doesn't matter. They're getting it. So it's a pizza problem.
Oh, I remember that fight with playing with friends or my brother too, where it'd just be like,
Yeah.
no, I needed it. You didn't need that at all. It just
Now we're gonna
causes
use a
huge fight.
continue. This is ridiculous. Yeah, no, man,
Which is
it's-
funny because it is self-harming because like if I die, like you're on your
Yeah.
own, man. It's just like
Yeah, that's it. We're starting this
You
level
should
over, probably.
to use that continue. Yeah, I love some of like you can and again it's the tiny craft stuff. Like we didn't, apropos of nothing, like we just stumbled upon the fact that if you attack the same person at the same time from two ends,
Yeah,
you'll
yeah.
just turn your shell and like you'll slam it into it. And it's just like that constant perpetual like little bits of joy that they like poured into this game. Like it's fantastic. Like People,
Yep.
you hear people often complain that people are just cashing in on nostalgia, but I think that this is more of a recognition of how great these games really were.
Yeah.
And it's like, let's not break the formula. Let's just bring some modernization into it as far as like online play and,
Yeah.
some leveling type of stuff.
Yeah, you mentioned online play and just the constant menu prompts of like party up, so you can immediately drop in, drop out. So that works well with families, right? Because my 11-year-old was like, he wanted to play like midway through our game that was already going on. Not a problem. They just swap you back in, and then he left and took him out.
Yep.
And the game just adjusts on the fly, whatever. Like, it's great. I love that. That's perfect. I think that's what you need in these type of games. But I will say, like, there's a lot of marketing to this game, like drip feed of like, it's coming, it's coming. We finally got a release date, and then it was, last week or whatever. But I would have wanted it a little bit longer. I know people say a couple hours, which might be the length of like the old games. I mean, my memory is probably failing me, but
Yeah.
a little bit longer just because it's so good. It's not like a negative. It's just I want more.
Yeah. I'm curious if they did chop out some for DLC, just to
Maybe, yeah,
buy a few extra levels or however else it would go. There could be the replayability because like it is really well attuned fun as far as like a button masher
yeah, oh, yeah.
fighting game. So
Great party
like-
game. Yeah,
yeah, I could definitely hear you though. A little bit on the small side, but hey, bravo, cheers, and I think that's a strong gaming day recommendation, especially
Yes.
if you played it on Super Nintendo or in the arcades. You almost owe it to yourself and your kids to get this one. Is probably how I'd say it.
absolutely. Just even for the intro movie, absolutely. It's so good.
It is amazing. All right, now let's transition from the greatest of great games to the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
Somehow, Jeff, your kids have gone into the clicker games. Firstly, what is a clicker game? Most people listening, I think, have an awareness of it, but if you could break it down a bit, and then secondly, why? Why, Jeff?
Two great questions, Trevor. I'm not sure why, but let's get down to what a clicker game is. It's like a clicker hero game, so it's basically a very simple game, either in browser or in an app, or you could play these things on your phone, but it just involves a graphic of some sort. It could be themed around something, let's say a jungle or a superhero, whatever. Something's going on in that screen, and you literally have to activate whatever that is by clicking your mouse, whether it's hitting the villain and you want to down their hit points, or like my kids were playing, mining for bitcoins or dogecoins. Like, you just click away, and the more you click, the more progression you get, and the more stuff builds up where you can add in items from, like, a menu is usually sitting on the left on all these games, and you add in all these things to help you click away. My God, like,
It feels like a distillation of what many games are, and while also being insulting. It's like, this is all you want. This is what your game is. You RPG jerk. Here you go.
yeah, and I really don't like to like turn down any game my kids want to play, right? Because it's just like they're tasting things. Maybe I'm old and just don't get it. But these games are just built to wreck your mouse and drive the parents nuts, because all you hear is that click, 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 click 1,000 times, and there's no way to silence it. Like, that's what it is. And my kids are just infatuated with the numbers on screen, because they're blasting all over the screen, and the more they click, the more numbers come out, and they're skyrocketing up to these like million points all the time. And then they get automated clickers that they bought, and they're all excited about how they've reached that point in the game. But honestly, like, it's just one of those
Hooray!
things.
Now,
I'm like,
this game is stupid, and now I don't even have to play it because it
Right,
plays
and
for
they
me.
just-
Hooray!
they just sit there and watch the things tick up. I'm like, okay, I guess. But I have my 11-year-old that bought that super powerful laptop that has, like, an RTX graphics card inside. It's running this thing. I'm like, okay, can we not do this? And I feel so bad. I feel like the computer just sitting there like, why me? Why would I? What made me do this? But yeah, it's it's one of those things that my kids were in for a little bit and then got out of for a while and are now back there. So I don't know what went wrong. I don't know.
I do love that it's the beefy laptop. Like,
Yeah.
whatever AAA title you want to think about, like it can absolutely play any classic indie gems, any in-depth story, and the only thing they're doing is like click, 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 click.
Like, honestly, right? And I kind of half suspect school. I think they're playing these games at school in a browser because they don't think
Right.
the filters or the firewall of the school like have these sites blocked, or there's some way to get to them because they're everywhere. Like you can access them at any point, and they do this during their computer time. So
That, God, that would make a lot of sense too. just just like they could all play it. Like if their friends get in a clan. I err with you. It's like I don't care to poo-poo anything because like maybe it's just I'm not young anymore. Like I'm not kids coming up and they just love this thing. I imagine our parents looked at some of the stuff we were doing with gaming to a similar chagrin. It's like, oh, these like beeps and boops. Like why don't these kids look at it so much? So it's difficult. But at the same time, like this feels like just demonstrably garbage. Is how to like show it.
yeah, and these things are usually written with, sign in here and give us your information there and donate to us here. And so it's not like, an honest or authentic kind of experience. They're trying to get you at something to spend money. So,
Yeah.
and then they close the browser and they restart because they don't have a sign in. So they do the whole thing over again and it all restarts. So
Fantastic. So, well, I mean, if any gaming dads out there have had similar experiences or maybe even like these type of games, I'd love to hear from it, but we'll keep you posted on what on earth was going. I'll see if my kids get into it eventually, but God save us all.
hopefully not. Yeah.
Speaking of saving, there's a transition. So
That's good.
not bad, right? The saving on your PlayStations at home has become a bit of a challenge. So between cloud saves and what seems to be saves inside of like one shared external drive, that is driving the family a bit mad. What's going on, Jeff?
Oh my God, all the wordplay. I love it. So yeah, we have two consoles with the PS5 and the PS4, and the kids usually kind of switch in between, depending on what they're doing and where I am. If I'm playing on the PS5, they'll come downstairs and use the PS4. The problem is that, and I don't know when this was normalized, but any of the saves that they do is locked to the system that they're on. So whatever game they're playing, it's on that system, and they can't boot it to the cloud because the cloud costs money, and that's PS Plus, right? Now that they relaunched that, they don't have access to that. So when they want to switch, or when they have friends over and they want to go downstairs or upstairs, they can't play the same game because the progression is not on the same system, right? And then the games are saved on an external hard drive that they want to lug between systems because the PS5 has it, because all those PS4 games don't need to be eating up space on the very, very small hard drive that's in the PS5, right? So it stays there, but as soon as you unplug it and bring it down to the PS4, it freaks out. Like their system's like, whoa, 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 what are you trying to do here? Like,
hey, easy there, criminal. Nice
that's
try.
right.
Let's
What are you
verify
trying
a
to
few
do?
things.
Yeah. So it creates an issue where they don't like doing that. Obviously, they'll do it if they have to. I don't like them doing that. So my 9-year-old came up with a solution of like, hey, how about I get PS Plus and then I don't have to bug you moving the drive or I'm like,
Go on.
that's great. That's a great solution, but that's also a $70 solution for 12 months.
Which tier would you like to subscribe to, son?
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, that's right. $120. Why not? So it's kind of an issue, and I could obviously just say, you play your Minecraft downstairs, it doesn't come back up.
Yeah.
But families are families, and we're usually in different places at different times, and different stuff is happening. So that's not really much of a solution.
Yeah, it's tricky because you want to. I like enabling the family to play as much games as they like within especially like during game time, right?
Yeah.
What I don't like is that, okay, we limit your access to games fairly strictly. Like this is your game time, this is not. So if anything kind of impedes that very small amount, it's bothersome. Like, like for instance, like a download or an upload or
Yeah.
game crashing or internet issue, something like that. Like, I feel for them. It's like, all right, you are only going to be allowed like an hour this weekend. If an hour is spent downloading your game, it sucks. And the same thing I think is with save files, where it's like, okay, you've been cranking away on this game and you want to like not lose your progression. I get it. So I want to enable it, but I don't know if that's worth, $100 a year for it necessarily.
No, I wouldn't say it's worth it. I kind of hope that every gaming company puts pressure on. They're not going to, but like, if there's a free account where it's a level of like, oh, you only get this many saves, and then you have to upgrade, that at least would maybe get people, used to doing it. But right now, my kid is stuck, so they're going to be going back and forth, or we'll see what happens with PS Plus. But that's quite a bit of change.
I'd like to see it. I'd like to see that kind of supportive family. Like, look, you keep pushing us into online. Like, how about you throw everybody a bone with it and like put some of these like basic features. Like you keep espousing the benefits and how amazing it is to be in the cloud. Like, why not just give everybody a small taste and help with cloud saves? Like, come on, stop nickel and diming us here, folks. Let's go.
Well, yeah, and upping your prices while I'm not getting much more in return.
Much more benefit.
I mean, Nintendo kind of did it right when they have a family account. PlayStation and Xbox don't necessarily have that. So, come on. Let's look at the families again.
Let's get it going. Oh, yes, sir. Okay, well, last thing we'll wrap it up with will be my own little fun and dandy times in the world of Minecraft Dungeons, where it's continued. So the problem, like the kid is still progressing at a rate much faster than I can catch up on. And then I finally played. I'll say this is a bit of a gaming dad win. I was upstairs, I think, doing dishes or something like that, just in the morning, which is usually kind of the gaming time. And he called up. It's like, oh, hey, Dad, can you come play? It's like, yeah, I could come down and play. He's like, yay! And it was just jubilation. Yeah. It was just jubilation. So the gaming dad win is like them asking me to play. Like, hey, Dad, please come play a game with me. I'm like, son, I've wanted to hear this so bad. This makes me so happy to hear you say this. And then like just the jubilation, like, yay, he's going to come do it. This is wonderful. Oh, man, warmed my heart. But the place, it's still just an absolute mess because he so badly wants to beat the final bosses and kind of like maybe get to some different worlds. Right. But he doesn't understand that I am a anchor weighing him down as opposed to any assistance. Because if I'm there's more enemies. And I'm at terrible level, so I'm keep dying because I can't play this as much as you, son. And then we have my other one, my 4-year-old who also adores this game, doesn't really comprehend half of it, but is just really happy to be part of it. That makes it worse because now we have 3 players worth of monsters. We have one guy who is like utterly unleveled and unprepared for it, and the other one doesn't know how to play. So between the 3, it's just like, this is a disaster. This is so bad. But I'm happy they're still playing it, and I love being requested into it. But I don't know what to do exactly.
You're gonna have to put in some game time to get up on that. I don't know, or your son just figures it out and be like, I did it on my own after like 1,000 deaths, right? Like
I found it was a lot easier without you, Dad. Yeah, well.
And then all of a sudden the gaming, the asking you to game is just stopping or slowing down. You're like, you know what? You can watch me. How about you watch me, Dad?
It'll be me asking, hey, you want to play a game, son? Like, I kind of like to just beat this. I can't really carry. Hey, Dad, you know where I want to be when I grow up? Oh, what's that, son? Oh, a garbage man. It's like, what? Why would you want to do that? It's like, oh, because because of you, I'm now used to carrying trash. You're gonna
get the smack talk.
I'm like, and that's when you lost your Xbox privileges, son.
No Game Pass for you, even if it is $1.
Yeah. Oh, that's where we're at. And on that note, we'll wrap it up for the week. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. Do you have a beer pick? We are smack dab in the middle of summer of beers. Yes. Final conclusion here is that the Great Divide Mexican chocolate is a punch in the face, a delicious one. Just like, I don't know if like I bet we could track how many words I slurred towards the end, but delicious. If it's going to be wild as far as chocolate and a stout, and it's also going to be 9%, at least it's delicious. So kudos to them. I recommend it. How did yours end up towards the end?
So Tona Cerveza, again from Nicaragua. Easy light beer to drink. This is all sunshine rainbows. I'm on the beach watching Trevor get hammered.
Just floating into the distance.
Yeah.
Forget about me.
Yeah, exactly. No, very, very easy to drink. So would recommend for sure.
So call out to Gaming Dads. If you have any beer suggestions, we would adore to hear from you. Reach out to us at Twitter at NewDadGaming or newdadgaming.com. We'll do our best to find it and seek it out so we can bring it on the show and discuss it and give you a call out as well. If you did like the show, you can find us on all the major podcasting networks. We're talking iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Caster, Stitcher, anywhere where you find your podcast, just search for New Dad Gaming. Thing that we're asking for is if you did like the show, a subscription really helps, and a rating and a review really helps boost the signal. It gives us a huge favor, and we'd really appreciate it if you could do so. If you do it and send us a screenshot, we're glad to shout out anything you like on the show. Besides being great friends forever.
That's right.
So, once again, this has been New Dad Gaming. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. Until next week, my name is Trevor, and I have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old. And just remember, just because you became a dad
does not mean it's game over. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Cheers.
See ya.